she screamed as the sketchbook slipped from her hands. The pages tore in midair, fluttering like wounded birds before landing in the fire. Flames licked the charcoal faces she had drawn the night before, swallowing eyes, smiles, dreams. She lunged forward instinctively, but a hard shove sent her crashing to the ground. "Don't you dare touch it," her auntie shouted. "Let it burn, auntie, please," the girl cried, scrambling on her knees. "That's my work. Please, I beg you." Her auntie kicked the sketchbook deeper into the fire. "Your work?" she laughed bitterly. "Rubbish. I warned you. I warned you again and again." The girl watched helplessly as weeks of sleepless nights disappeared into smoke. Something inside her cracked, sharp and final. That was the day her jealousy-driven auntie destroyed her art, and that was only the beginning. Her name was Amara. She was 17 and had learned long ago that silence was safer than arguments. Since her parents' death, her auntie, Madame Felicia, had taken her in not out of love, but obligation. Felicia reminded her of that every single day. "I feed you, I clothe you, I shelter you," Felicia often said. "So you will do as I say." Amara woke before dawn to fetch water, cooked before school, cleaned until her fingers itched. At night, when the house finally slept, she drew. Charcoal stolen from the cooking stove, old paper rescued from trash. Sometimes, when she was lucky, a broken pencil someone had thrown away. Drawing was the only place her chest didn't feel tight. That night, after the fire, Amara sat on the floor long after the flames died. Her auntie stormed off, still muttering insults. "Useless girl, drawing nonsense like a mad person, thinking she's better than others." Amara didn't cry immediately. She stared at the ashes until they blurred, until the silence became too loud. The next morning, Felicia acted as if nothing had happened. "Hurry up," she snapped. "You'll be late for school." Amara opened her mouth, then closed it. Her voice felt buried with the ashes. At school, her teacher noticed the change immediately. "Amara, Mr. Albi said gently after class, where are your drawings?" She shook her head. "I stopped." "Stopped?" He frowned. "You don't just stop breathing, do you?" Her eyes filled, but she forced the tears back. "I'm tired, sir." Mr. Albi studied her for a moment, then nodded slowly. "If you ever change your mind, my door is open." Felicia noticed things too. She noticed Amara no longer stayed up late, no longer hid scraps of paper, no longer smiled to herself. And for a while, Felicia felt victorious. Finally, she said one evening to a neighbor, "The foolishness has ended. I broke that nonsense out of her." But jealousy is never satisfied. It needs proof. It needs humiliation. One afternoon, Amara returned from school to find Felicia holding her bag. "What are you looking for?" Amara asked quietly. Felicia shook out the contents. Books fell, pens scattered. At the bottom, a folded paper slipped out. Felicia froze. Slowly, she picked it up and opened it. It was a drawing. A portrait of an old woman sitting by a window, eyes full of stories. "Where did this come from?" Felicia demanded. Amara's heart raced. "Sir gave us an assignment. Observation drawing." Felicia's face twisted. "So you're still doing it? After all I did?" "It's for school," Amara said. "Just for marks." Felicia ripped the paper in half. "Let this be the last one," she hissed. "Next time I won't be this gentle." That night, Amara stared at the ceiling, heart pounding. She felt watched, hunted. Days turned into weeks. Felicia grew harsher. Any pencil Amara touched was suspicious. Any quiet moment was questioned. "Why are you smiling? Why are you quiet? What are you hiding?" One Saturday, Felicia followed Amara. Amara had gone to the old abandoned classroom behind the school, thinking she was safe. She knelt on the dusty floor, drawing from memory, her hands shaking but sure. She didn't hear the footsteps until it was too late. "So this is where you hide," Felicia said coldly. Amara jumped. Auntie Felicia grabbed the paper, tearing it again and again. "I told you to stop." Students nearby froze, watching. "She's wasting time drawing instead of working," Felicia shouted to anyone listening. This is how bad children behave. Amara felt heat crawl up her neck. Lottard whispers, pity. That night, she packed her pencils and buried them at the back of the compound. She whispered goodbye like a funeral prayer. She didn't know someone had already seen her art. Months earlier, before the fire, Mr. Obey had quietly taken pictures of some of her drawings with his phone. He had sent one to a regional student art competition, unsure if she'd even agree but believing her gift deserved a chance. The competition results were delayed, forgotten, until one afternoon, a car drove into the dusty street. People gathered, murmuring. A well-dressed woman stepped out, clipboard in hand. "I'm looking for Amara, okay," she announced. Felicia stepped forward immediately. "Yes, that's my niece. We're from the National Youth Art Initiative," the woman said. "One of Amara's artworks won first place." The street exploded with gasps. Felicia's eyes widened. "First place, yes. We need her to sign documents and recreate the piece for verification." Felicia smiled broadly. "Of course." "She's inside." She turned sharply to Amara. "Come out. Don't embarrass me." Inside the room, Felicia grabbed Amara's arm, listening carefully. "You will do exactly as I say." "But I didn't." "You will draw," Felicia whispered fiercely. "You will do it well. Remember who feeds you." Amara's hands trembled as she sat before the judges. Paper placed, pencils offered. "Whenever you're ready," the woman said kindly. Amara stared at the blank page. Her chest tightened. Her mind went empty. Felicia cleared her throat loudly. "Go on," she snapped. Amara lifted the pencil. Lines came out wrong. Her hands shook harder. Minutes passed. The judges exchanged looks. "This doesn't match the original," one said gently. Felicia laughed nervously. "She's just nervous." "Perhaps," the woman said, "but the original showed confidence, memory, depth." Mr. Obey stepped forward from the crowd. "May I speak?" Felicia's smile faltered. "Who are you?" "I'm her teacher," he said, "and I believe you should ask her why she stopped drawing." Silence fell. The woman turned to Amara. "Why did you stop?" Amara swallowed. Her voice shook, but it came out. "Because my auntie burned my drawings. Because she said my gift was useless. Because I was afraid." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Felicia's face hardened. "She's lying, Mr. Obey raised his phone. "These are the pictures I took before they were destroyed." The judges stared at the screen. "That's the artwork," one whispered. The woman looked at Amara. "Can you redraw it?" "Not perfectly. Just honestly." Felicia stepped back, shaking her head. "You can't." Amara closed her eyes. She remembered the nights, the quiet, the way her heart felt free. Her hand moved, slow at first, then sure. Lines flowed, not identical but alive. When she finished, no one spoke. "This is her," the woman said firmly. "There's no doubt." Felicia's knees weakened. "Please," she said quickly, "she's my niece. I raised her." "You tried to erase her," the woman replied. Authorities were called. Arrangements were made. That night, Felicia cried alone. Amara packed a small bag, heart racing. Felicia knelt before her. "I was afraid," she whispered. "Afraid you'd become more than me." Amara looked at her quietly. "You burned my drawings," she said, "but you couldn't burn what's inside me." She paused. "I forgive you, but I'm leaving." The next morning, as the car drove away, villagers watched in silence. If this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes, the people who try to destroy your gift are the ones most afraid of what you're meant to become.